got a little boost from Coach Rhule yesterday
Yeah.
in his press conference for, it's kind of funny. He has this way of almost, I mean, you've mentioned this before,
Okay,
that you
talk to me.
think one of the best qualities Coach Rhule brings to the table is his discernment,
Oh, yeah.
his ability to quickly process a situation
Yep.
and have a good answer. Maybe not the best answer that he give himself a little time, but he'll get 90% of the way there almost instantly.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Right? And we saw that Wednesday night when he puts out the "So God Made a Farmer" video, right? Unbelievable timing on that thing. Like almost instantly after Trev is gone.
Mhm.
And the dude's in Scotland, by the way, while this is happening. So from Scotland, gets this video made. I'm not under any impression that he's out there like using CapCut and doing stuff himself, but like gets this video made from Scotland, drops at the perfect time. And then you have yesterday, right? A lot of consternation, a lot of frustration, myself included, of, why Trev left, the reasons. Is it an institutional problem? Is it a Trev problem? Is it some combination of both, which is likely the case? And you've got Rhule there going to the podium, and I would guess 99 times out of 100, that's a press conference about spring ball, about the end of winter conditioning. We got a little bit of that, but he didn't talk pretty much any football. He talked about all the other stuff, and his ability to kind of, I don't know any Nebraska fan that didn't feel better yesterday.
Yeah, he's an amazingly quick blinker.
Yeah.
Right? Especially somebody I kind of pride myself on being able to react and process quickly. Like I enjoy doing that. Um, he's really really good, and I don't know if so much yesterday I felt it was kind of twofold. Because I told a couple of people I was like, this is exactly what I was saying last week, right? So I don't know if that's why I liked it, and then I thought about it. I was like, well, that's not why I liked it because I wasn't sure. I just think like in crisis, and I would call this crisis management, right? And maybe crisis is a little.
I mean, contextually, it is a crisis, right? We're not trying to pretend that it's
the ability to lead under duress. Okay, it just was so measured, and I struggled last week, and I said it again yesterday to Sam. The reason why last week was so hard was because, like, we wanted to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And I was like, nah, I gotta slow down. Like, I think we can eat the meat, right, and spit out the bones. And the meat of it was he did a really good job while he was here. Did a lot of good things. I think his job was extremely difficult, right? Like we did, this isn't like because Coach Rhule said it. This is in addition to, and even some of it was even before, right? But then to hear Coach Rhule yesterday say, because I know it's hard, right? It's going to be a friend of mine. Appreciate Angela reaching out to, Julie. It's a hard business, a lot of moving parts. And I'm telling you, like the more, we're going back and forth with the conversations and stuff yesterday on, was that group text?
Yeah.
I don't think he was I don't think he was talking about his boss. He used his boss's name a lot and referenced the position. I think he was talking about the institutional matters and the position as he envisions it, right? Because this is what he's about. This is what I want. I want to be able to go to work. This is where I want Nebraska to be. This is the position I want them to be in. Because at least right now, I always tell kids sometimes, like, I can't be your biggest fan. You ever coached a kid and it's like, I can't want this more than you. That's what I feel like a little bit of what he was saying yesterday was. Listen, I'm in this deal. I am in the deal, fans. I am in the deal, media. Let's get this right together. I want this to be huge. You have to want it too. You got to want this. You got to want a solid infrastructure. You have to want a visionary. You have to embrace the leadership role. You have to embrace being the University of Nebraska. Stop with the tail tucking and backstabbing and the whispering. We have one of the greatest things that he said is kind of what I was saying yesterday, right? We have an opportunity to really get this thing right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's roll your sleeves up and go to work.
To me, it's something that he's talked about a lot. You talk about the you don't want to have the tuck tail, and it's almost,
dude, we tuck. We do a lot of tucking as a fan base, and we hedge. Don't hedge.
Well, yeah, and it goes back to this thing that everybody says when when they talk about whether it was Frost or Rhule or whoever, and they talk about wanting to be a winning program again, wanting to be nationally relevant again. And then what's the next thing you always hear?
It's going to take time. It's got a long way to go.
If you're a fan, I'm not saying it's going to be like the 90s.
Yeah.
There's always the qualifier, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Right? That's hedging. That's saying, well, listen, I know it's never going to be like it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And listen, it's not. It's a different landscape of college football. There's 12-team playoff now, going to be 14, 16 soon, right? This is a landscape of college football that is 100% different than what was going on in the 90s. That doesn't mean, though, that you should hedge your
expectation level.
Hedge your expectations,
or even he's talking. You're right.
Or even hedge your vision.
You're 100% right.
Right? It's not even just the expectations; it's hedging the vision before you even get to the point of expectation.
He said it 1,000 times. I told you when he was at the high school talking to CJ or Christian Jones, sorry, and he was talking, and it's probably after about 30 minutes, he goes, and make no mistake, we will win at the highest level. I don't know when that's going to be, but we're going to win at the highest level.
He said that since the day he got hired.
So he's never ran from the expectations. And if he's going to embrace it, I don't see why we can either, because we act like,
well, there's actual tangible consequences for him. And there's not for us. I mean, really.
We act like being the head coach or these positions in the sports world are somehow different than in real life because of monetary situations. But that's not really the case, right? There aren't a lot of people that get out of bed and say, "Hey, you know what? I want to be mediocre today."
No, but there are a lot of people that get out of bed and say, "I just want to get through today."
Hey, 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why there's tiers of the job qualifications, right? Usually the more unique skill you have, the
more you get paid for it.
The more you get paid for it.
Yeah.
So those people on high ends of pay scales are uniquely equipped to keep moving the ball forward, right? And it's like, and getting through the day doesn't mean you don't want the best for those around you.
Sure.
You just have a hard time rationalizing where those two worlds collide. So it's like, man, I sure do want my kids to be average. Hey, just get through today. Just get through. Like, that's not typically a message you're hearing. So don't assume like it's bad or out of character or unattainable or whatever. Like, if coaches want to win, because I think that's part of it.
It is part of it, and I have to say I appreciate, because he's setting himself up for a way where he has to deliver.
Yeah.
Right. But he's not afraid of that.
No.
That's you see a ton of coaches that say, "Hey, we're going to get this thing right. We're going to win, whatever." You're like, I don't know what that looks like. Or they have some sort of qualifier in there, right? To say, well, I don't know exactly what that looks like. And I guess he has some sort of a qualifier. He goes, "Hey, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen." But honestly, I don't think we allow ourselves to think that way because we're afraid of the failure. If you say it out loud and you tell everybody, "This is the thing that I want," then if you don't get it, people know you failed. That's how we look at it.
And I agree with you, Shane. When you sent the clips, did you send the 3-group text or just to Ravi and I?
It was a 3-group text.
Okay.
Because, I mean, and I was like this until I was 30 years old, where I wouldn't say the thing I wanted out loud. I wouldn't even admit it to myself because I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. That's really what the fear of failure is. It's not the actual failure. It's that our minds tell us after we fail, oh, that means you're not good enough.
Yeah.
That's what we think failure is, a condemnation of us as people.
Shane, play clip 4 for us from Coach Rhule along the lines of what Ravi's getting to. Let's play clip 4 for us.
Through what could be seen as a tough time. But I mean, I think this is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. Everyone's going to wonder why Trev left, and that's his story to tell. I don't know why. I know he was very forthcoming with me and very forthright with me, and I have no complaints about the way he handled anything, at least with me. So very grateful for him. But this is an opportunity for us to look at everything within our athletic department, everything within maybe even our university, and how can we be better? Because this is an amazing place. And I started off by talking about my son being here. I would not send my son here if I didn't think it was an amazing place. My wife's opening a business down in South Point. We would not invest our money in our futures in a place that we did not believe in.
Right. Tough times, but I can still cast a vision, right? It's this and this and this is going on, but at the end of the day, this is where we're at, right? I wouldn't have things in Omaha. I wouldn't be doing business out in South Point. I wouldn't be standing before you today knowing that I can be held accountable for the things that I say.
My son wouldn't be coming to school here.
They didn't even want him to.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told.
Yeah.
That's a brand deal. And they tried lots of options.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, you sure you want to be in the throng of this? Yeah, Brandt's like, yep,
let's do it.
You're my people. Let's do this.
Let's ride.
Right?
So not like Russell Wilson.
It's weld. Let's weld. Let's forge. Let's do something.
Let's steal.
Silly. Yeah. But it's like, I always appreciate, I admire people like that. Because a lot of people sit around and bitch and moan, man. It's like, what don't we have? What can't we do? Why is this going on? And at the end of the day, if it's not a controllable, it's a slow death. I always give the analogy, right? It's like you swallowing the cyanide, but expecting someone else to die. Like, you got to move on.
Yeah.
And he's a competitor. And so it's just one of those things that I gravitate towards, because I think it's so hard for people to like give love or love something. But when you see it and you feel it, look how easy it is to be drawn to. Yet we just fight being able to take ourselves there, but we want it.
Oh yeah, that's part of the reason Rhule is so compelling. Is because
he loves this place.
It is his willingness to put himself out there, his willingness to put the stakes on the table.
Isn't making yourself vulnerable part of it?
100%. I was just going to say, it's a vulnerability.
Yeah. It's
because
it's hard for people to do, but it's powerful when you do it.
You're telling the world, this is the thing that I want. This is the thing I'm going to go after. So you're opening yourself up to, if you don't get it, you're opening yourself up to ridicule. I mean, that's what it is. We're not really afraid of the accountability. We're afraid of the ridicule. We're afraid of the backlash, right? We're afraid of, Coach Rhule's talking about, I'm going to bring championships back to Nebraska. And then he doesn't do it. And it's like, look at this clown. Yeah. It's the same thing where, if we kill LeBron for the Miami thing, not 2, not 3, not 4 rings. It's like, you only got 2, clown. Then you left after 4 years. What are we doing? Like, when you open yourselves up to it, like, yeah, sometimes it's a little cringy if you do it in like a weird parade thing like Miami Heat did. But when you do it in a genuine and vulnerable way, people can't help but be drawn to it. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to ridicule if you fail, but I think that's something people desire in their life, because it's a genuine human moment from people we don't see as human beings very often.
Sounds a lot like clip 5. Shane, play clip 5.
We love the state of Nebraska. We love Lincoln. We love Omaha. We love everyone everywhere that we've been and everyone that we've met. And I just think sometimes we forget some of those things. We forget how great a place this is to raise our kids. And we forget how great a place this is to live and to work and to be around. And so, yeah, while it is a tough time losing someone of Trev's, caliber, all I'll say is, I believe he put 15 years in here in athletic administration. And from everything I see in our athletic department, this is a well-run athletic department, and this is a good place. And I know he's allowed me to do the things I think are necessary. So he's left the place better than he's found it. And so I think it's an unbelievable opportunity for us to move forward. And the one thing Trev would always say to me is, and I think he took this really seriously as the Husker that he is. He said to me, I'm only standing in this position as the athletic director at Nebraska. You're only standing in the position you're in because of the decisions that coaches like Tom Osborne and administrators made 20 years ago to put us in this position where we're, financially stable, we're secure, we have elite facilities, we have tremendous commitment.
Is it kind of
put
what you're saying together?
It really does. And he, I think, appreciates the fact that while he's in the position he can be in today because of the decisions that were made 20 years ago, I think he appreciates that his decisions are paving the way for whatever Nebraska is going to be 20 years from now.
Yeah, always try to surround yourself with people, even though, they wake up on third base, aren't always trying to tell you they hit a triple, right? And by that, I mean, surround yourself with people that can give you the good with the bad, but the pendulum is always kind of swing forward. It's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies. But it's much easier to be around the folks that are nosing that thing forward. And I get it, right? There's sometimes situations can be so overwhelming where you get in kind of this why me stuck mode. And it's those critical times that I think he's talking about where you have to reflect on what is good, right? I remember sometimes my mom would say, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't even bad sometimes, but sometimes we would go over like Christmas lists and stuff, and maybe she was painting a picture to lower the expectation level, but she would always say things like, well, we still have food in our health, right? Or, I would ask my dad, hey, what do you want for such and such? Yeah, I just want my family to be okay, or I just want my family to be healthy.
Sounds like my dad.
And it's like, they're being serious, right? It's not, they're just giving you, a different perspective. I remember, when I felt like I was in purgatory, right? In October and November and December, and DJ would say things like, let's focus on what we can build on, not what we fill the void, not trying to fill the void.
Because filling the void doesn't get you anywhere.
And it's amazing how that's what we're drawn to.
Makes you feel, because it makes you feel better in the moment.
And it's like this paralysis by analysis. So when Coach Rhule is like breaking down this situation, I just love the fact that his ability to assess, okay, this happened, now what? It's a total coach leader. Hey, you coughed it up on the 2-yard line. Now what? Hey, I asked you to comment it this way. You didn't. Now what? Hey, I know this environment bred this kind of behavior. Not anymore. Now what? Hey, I understand you're coming off a divorce in which you made a ton of bad decisions. Now what? Right? Like, those are the kinds of things that I think in those critical moments, that's what people rally around, because the message is consistent. Whether he's right or wrong, the authenticity and the origin of what he says, where it comes from, doesn't waver.
No, it's coming.
It's not to say that he's not going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But the power source is extremely consistent where it's drawn from. I mean, how many different ways can he bring up family and surrounding yourself with people that care about you.
Mhm.
You think that's not how he recruits?
Oh yeah.
Do you think that that's not what he's trying to build in the athletic department?
Well, do you think that's not why guys like Ty Robinson are back this year?
Well,
You think that's not why guys like Marcus Washington are tried so hard to get an extra
Yeah.
year of eligibility? You know, like that's not because they think Nebraska.
Why would Casey Thompson entertain? Why would it even come in his scope?
Yeah, why was it even a possibility
that he wouldn't want to come back here?
And he spent like 2 months with the guy.
Yeah. Right?
Like Casey Thompson didn't spend a lot of time with him.
And this is
Why would Heinrich Harburg? I get he's a Nebraska kid, right? I know he's got roots here, but that's a dude that goes 5-2 as a starter. Why would that dude be like, oh, I'll play tight end this year, right? Like, what guy that goes 5-2 in today's version of Division I Power 5 football as a quarterback is then just like, yeah, no, I'll be a weird H-back, third string, whatever.
Hey, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever you need.
But what's going to make us better?
Right? Though, just imagine the people that you say that to.
Imagine,
like if you say to somebody, "Hey, whatever you need,"
yeah,
just compartmentalize how you feel about that person you said it to.
The level of
right
care and trust I have to have in that person for me to say whatever you need is off the charts.
I said, "Hey, Bill, I trust you. Whatever you need,
100%.
I got you. You know what I mean?
Because you trust.
So like my affinity for that, it has to be at a high level.
You trust them with your own well-being, which we don't do very often.
100%.
And we certainly don't see it in high major athletics very often either.